Okay, we're in exercise 68 now, problem number 1. And again, my expectation is that you've looked at the problem, made some attempt to solve it. If you did, good for you. Look at my answer key, see if you can understand it. If you can and you agree with it, move on. Now, if you need support, what you're going to do is you're going to watch the video or continue to watch the video. I'm going to go to the whiteboard and I'm going to try to solve system number 1. Let's take a look. I guess I need to create a new note, don't I? And let's start. Let me get this over here, get my pen out. And again, we're in exercise 68. We're doing problem number 1. Now, certainly, looking at it, what I notice is it's a system of 3 equations. X and Y are the variables, and A and B are parameters in the problem. This always makes it more difficult for students to do. And the reason for that is some students will actually guess at answers if they're given numbers, all right? But this I'm not given numbers. It's going to be hard to guess at. So what I'd recommend, let me just write the system down for you. Yeah, you might be wasting time by writing it down. I also want to recommend you don't write the system down. But I'm writing it down for a reason. I want to point something out to you. And what do you get there? Minus AB cubed. And don't think that the way I'm doing something is the right way to do something. This would be a terrible thing to say to somebody. All I can say is at the end of this, we should agree upon, no matter what road we take, we should agree upon this. And I got to make sure I copied it wrong, X, Y. This is why I recommend not to copy it. You just simply write on a piece of paper that you're given where the problem is written down already. So XY equals A squared, B squared. YZ equals minus AB cubed. And ZX equals minus A cubed B. Let's see. Well, you know what? I could do some divisions here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this first equation, which is xy, equals, and every path I take could be a dead end. Let me just, I got to get my eraser out. I started. So xy equals a squared, b squared. I'm going to divide it by the that second equation. And this is going to be yz. And yz is the same thing as dividing by ab cubed. All right, so what do you get over there? Well, provided the y isn't 0, right, I would get x over z equals, let's say, minus a over b. And that's not so bad. Again, it may not go anywhere, but it's not that bad. So I'm going to say, I probably could solve for x now. What's x going to be? Minus a over b, and there'd be a z there now. All right, so I'm going to take that, and I'm starting to realize if I took this and substituted into the third equation, let me write that down for you. Z times x. Well, what's x? Write this down for you. It's minus a z over b would be equal to minus a cubed b. Well, I got to simplify that, but at least that's an equation with one unknown in it. And again, a reminder, x, y, and z are the variables. A, b, and c. I'm sorry, just a and b are the parameters or some kind of unknown constant to me. All right, so I'm going to write this down. And I'm going to multiply both sides by minus 1. And let's write this. Let's be careful about it. So what do you get? You get, I multiply by minus 1. So you get c squared times a over b. And this would be a cubed b. And I'm going to keep going forward. So z squared is equal to, let's see, I'm going to divide by a and multiply by b. And what do you get? A squared, b squared. All right. So what could z be then? And this is an interesting thing. And z could be equal to plus or minus ab. All right. Now I got more troubles on my hand. I kind of know what z is, but I got to figure out what the other guys are. And so I'm going to, maybe use this to substitute another equation. So I'm going to go to the second equation. So I got the z. So let me write this down. So the second equation says yz equals minus a b cubed. And I'm going to substitute z in now. What do you get? You get y. Well, here comes my problem. I'll write it down for you. What's z? It's plus or minus ab equals minus ab cubed. Well, you know, for some students, it's probably best to write this as two different ways. So let me write this over here. If z is equal to ab, y times ab would equal to minus ab cubed, which means y would be equal to, let's take, that's pretty simple, right? So it's going to be minus b squared. So if z equals ab, y would equal minus b squared, right? Now if z equals minus ab, what do you get? Y minus ab equals minus ab cubed. And let's see, what would you get over there? Y would equal what then? Would equal b squared then. Let me write that down for you. All right, so what I have to do, I really two different answers, but I got to get the x. And this one, how are you going to do that? Well, I'm going to use this one over here now, and that's xy equals a squared b squared. So let me write this down. Xy equals a squared b squared. All right, so what am I going to do? I guess I got to plug in and to get the x. So let me put this down, and let me just do this one first. And x equals something. Well, let's write that down. And what's it going to equal to? Well, I'm using this over here, and it's going to be x times y. So it's going to be x times minus b squared, and that would equal a squared b squared. What do you get over there? X equals minus a squared. Now, I want to remind you, as I always do, we have an answer key, and certainly I'm going to look at my answer key later. But before I look at an answer key, I just want to see if I can get a solution to look at the answer key now. And what do you get over here? Again, I'm still using this over here. And this would be x times b squared equals a squared b squared. And what's that going to give you? That's pretty simple. It's going to give you x equals a squared. So I have two triplets, and I'll write them down for you. And the triplets are going to be written down as x, y, z. The first one is going to be minus a squared minus b squared ab. That's one answer. And again, we'll check our answer key later. What's the other answer going to be? A squared b squared minus ab. All right, I'll put a box on these. And again, I'm going to encourage you to look at the answer key. And what are you seeing? You know, a squared b squared minus ab. Yeah, pretty good. Minus a squared minus b squared ab. Feeling good about that. All right, I'm hoping it's helpful. And again, don't make assumptions that, oh, this is the only way to do that problem. No, you can do it many different ways. This is the way I did the problem. And you might say, I got a better way. I'm not saying you don't. I'm just saying you got to get to the answers, and these are the answers over here. All right? So certainly we could check those, by the way, but I'm checking those with my key. And again, if anybody believes they ever see an error in my notes and they'd like to correct it, all you have to do is reach out to me. And my name is Ron Bannon. And my email address is Bannon, that's B as in boy, the @ symbol, NNON.US. And as long as I'm not overwhelmed, I think I'll be able to respond to you, unless these become incredibly popular, and then I'll probably have to cancel that email address. All right, so here's the deal. Work forward, all right? Work forward. Thank you so much for paying attention, though.